Hi, I'm Jason Sterling, and this is my review and reaction to The Sims 4 Lovestruck gameplay trailer that just dropped today. The trailer that's going to expose us to all of the wonderful new gameplay coming with this $40 expansion pack. We start off with a really cute view, top down, of what I assume is a park here. We kind of come into an actual park here in I can't pronounce this city. It's like Enamorada, I think. It's a made-up name, like you're enamored with somebody. You're enamored with this town, right? So Enamorada. And the park looks really, really cute, as does the city behind it. Of course, we should keep in mind that this is supposed to be representative of Mexico City, or at least inspired by Mexico City. I have to admit, so far, I really don't see that. But we haven't seen much of the world or the city yet. It looks okay, just kind of a little bland and generic to me. Now, what I also see and don't like, as you know, is not all the images appear in game. So thanks a lot once again. We get a trailer to keep us guessing. Maybe that's a form of gameplay, to keep us guessing what's in this game and what's not in this game based on what we're about to see. That could be a type of gameplay. It might be even more fun than, say, a rabbit hole. Spoiler alert, those rabbit holes. One of which is the career. Spoiler alert again. They don't mention the career at all coming up in this trailer. Not one single bit do they mention the career. We are kind of led through the trailer by a sort of dating influencer, I guess. It's almost like she's recording a video for YouTube on dating. So I'm going to come at it as maybe she's a sort of dating influencer, but I'm also coming at it as, is this supposed to imply the career that we don't really have and won't see in the game because it's a rabbit hole, but we could pretend and make a story that this is kind of that career? I don't know. That's what I'm going with, but there's nothing really to back that up except that's just what I think maybe is happening, right? That's what I think could be happening here. Happening here is we're seeing a lot of the assets again that we've already seen. A lot of great background stuff. The stuff does look really good. It does not look culturally significant in regard to, say, like Mexico or Latin America. It does look very culturally significant to the 1980s, which I really don't have a problem with. I have some big plans for some of this stuff because I really do like the 1980s sort of style and sort of look. So I definitely can live with it not, well, I can put up with it not being as culturally significant in exchange for representing a certain era. I would rather have another culturally significant, pack like Komorebi was, where we get something that feels like a particular area so far with this world. And this isn't even gameplay related. I'm just getting off on a sidetrack because it happens to me with these trailers sometimes. The world, we've got a plaza with like one sort of relief on a wall of two Latin-esque dancers. And that's the only thing that even seems to be sort of Latin to me. There's a few little knickknacks coming up you'll see. And I guess the little flags strung across the plaza. Is that it? Pretty quick. We're about 30 seconds into this trailer, just kind of listening to this influencer talk about dating, which is 20% of this trailer so far is nothing, nothing new, just someone talking about dating. And then seeing the stuff that we've already seen, basically the exact same scenes, the exact same places we saw in the first trailer. Now, I will say, I do like this little dog in this picture here that you're seeing right now. I love that. I love that little dog. I had one kind of like that myself back in the 90s, not the 80s, in the 90s. Maybe I was late on the trend, though. I lived in Oklahoma. We're always late on the trends here, especially back then before the internet. So maybe I was just late, but I do love the dog. What I don't love is the very first real gameplay thing we see is, of course, Cupid's Corner again, which we've seen a lot. That seems to be the primary feature of this pack. And while I'm glad it's there and it looks to be pretty cool, it's just an app. It's just a user interface. It's just you scrolling through pictures of other Sims and then choosing one to go on a date with. So I'm a little worried about the heavy-handed reliance on Cupid's Corner as the big feature of this pack. We see here that whenever we see a Sim that kind of shares our traits or shares things we might like, you can see that's kind of a turn on for us. And then you can kind of like save them for later. And I guess come back later and maybe look at it again. Or you can go ahead and just, as our dating guru suggests, start a date, plan a date. Now, this is another change to the system. This is another feature. This is going to be probably the first new gameplay thing we're seeing. And it's really just a somewhat minor revamp of the event system. The date is now an event, and just like with an event, you choose the people you want to go on the date, and you choose the location, and you choose some things you want to do on the date. I think not in that order. I think reverse those last two, but you get the point. You can see from the picture here. It is just the party, right? It's just setting up a date as a party. Now, of course, we know that we can choose things we actually want to do on our date, and that will be our goals for that date, which is nice. That is also an improvement, a change and an improvement, in my opinion. But it's also still relatively minor. Now, I just want to say real quick, we don't see all four of the locations. We see two of them. The top one, which is like a nightclub, and the bottom one, which is where they're going, which is a park. Now, I'm going to say the weird thing is with that little park icon, I can't figure out what the gazebo looking thing is. It looks like it's 2 stories. And to me, get ready for speculation. Get ready for pure theory time. It looks like it could be a carousel, right? Now, am I just hoping and praying there's some big thing to this pack that we're all going to be surprised by, and it's going to catch us off guard in the live stream? We're like, wow, that's so cool. Yeah, I am hoping that. And when I look at this, it looks to me like it could be a carousel, like your Sims climb up there and get on the carousel, and all the mechanical stuff is down underneath. It's kind of like a really old-fashioned carousel, because otherwise I can't figure out why you would have a gazebo setting up on top of a second story like that. You can see from the picture there how it looks. Now, it's me reaching. I know it's me reaching. It's just that I would love to see something really cool like that added to this pack. That is a real spark. But I'm realistic. The fact of the matter is they haven't showed anything like that. And I would think if there was going to be a carousel, they would show something like that. It would be an active part of the date. Still, I'm very curious what it's going to end up being. I really am. I want to see this park more than anything else right now. But until that point, until we get there on our date, right, which we don't actually really see much of the park on the date, but until I guess I get there on my date in the game once I'm working with the pack, what we do with this event system is we have to choose a minimum of 3 things to do on the date. I'm going to guess a maximum of 5, because it looks like that's how many it holds, right? That looks like how many it holds here in the picture. So I'm going to guess that you choose 3 things, minimum, maximum of 5 that you're going to do on the date. The more of them you get done, the better chance you have like a gold date, right? We get a few shots of where you can go on your date, like the gym. I don't know who goes on a date to the gym. I really don't, but gyms are base games, so they can use a gym as a venue, right? So you're going to go on your date to the gym. Now, the big thing here is, of course, that there are free weights in the background of this shot here at the gym. I don't think we're getting weightlifting Sims, like free weights to lift for the Sims to exercise. I think it's just going to be a decorative item in the background. It's not going to be usable. It's not going to be functional. That would take a lot of new animations. And again, like if there was a carousel, I think they would have already shown it or hinted at it. There's only going to be so much they would keep as a surprise for the live stream. Because right now, I'm not even sure how many people are going to actually watch the live stream. But I would say that the free weights are a decorative item. The other thing we see is a nightclub. Of course, we can go on a date to a nightclub. We can do that right now, but go to on a date to a nightclub. It shows the 2 Sims kind of dancing together, doesn't it? It looks like they're dancing together, doesn't it? Jason, do you think we're going to be able to really dance together like we do in real life? No. No, I don't. I think they're going to go out there and dance wherever you clicked on the floor and told them to dance. And if you get lucky through some miracle, they'll actually be facing each other. So it will look like they're dancing together. And if you're telling a story or, whatever, that'll look right for the story. It doesn't very often work that way. And for all I know, this is just hand done animation. This isn't even in game. This is something that they just created animation, like, computer generated animation. Because I don't think they set it up so that we can actually dance like 2 people dancing, facing each other like real life. So I think it's just a marketing setup. And our guru here, our gating. Oh, that's what I'm going to call gay dating. I'm going to call it gating from now on in the game. Gating, our gating guru here for all your gay Sims in the game, right? Our gating guru, she is setting up a date. She's setting up dates. She's going to have a friend date. A friend date. And they're going to go out and then they're going to do all of the stuff we can already do in game, like take selfies and have open mic night. And that's about it. I'm sorry. There just isn't much new here. I mean, we're around 1 minute into this trailer. It's almost half over and we have a newish sort of dance. We have a newish sort of dating mechanism. We have like a newish sort of watching the sky, which these things we can do. These things we can do. Yes, the dating is a little bit different. It is, and it's better. I do like that. Like being able to have more control over how we do the date. But it doesn't seem like this is something I'm going to say it. I don't say this sort of stuff very often. It almost seems like something could have just been in a patch, right? Because it doesn't seem like that big of a change. And then, you've got Cupid's Corner. And I mean, this is it so far, guys. This is our gameplay. What you're seeing, the gameplay is pretty much the stuff that we already do in the game. There is a cute little joke about bringing your mom on the date, which is probably going to be something new where you choose people to invite. Because again, like with a party, you can invite like up to 8 guests. My guess is going to be that with dating, you can invite up to 8 guests and you could go on a friend date, right? Like our guru here, our dating guru has suggested she likes friend dates. So let's take all of our friends on a big friend date instead of like, just getting together, I guess. Of course, like dating now, your date can go good or bad. Traits are supposed to influence that. This sort of turn on, turn offs are going to influence that during the date. That is, this other sort of feature that's been introduced, turn ons, turn offs. So it's going to be a lot like likes and dislikes, right? So again, it just feels like a tweaking of something we already have. It's fine. I do like the concept of it. And it harkens back to older Sims games. And in theory, I think the idea is supposed to be that even if you're having good interactions on the date, if your date is turned off by the things you like, right? Like if you like eating, I don't know, like if you're a foodie, right? If you really like you're a food snob and your date's turned off by that, even if the interactions during the date went pretty well, it would impact the date in a negative way because she's really not attracted to you. Okay, get it? If it's a boy and a girl or a girl and a girl. So, I guess that is kind of the change that's being promoted here and being sold is that's what's going to affect your gameplay. It's what's going to make the gameplay better. We're going to go with better. We're going to go with that it's going to be better. I'm going to have a hard time until I actually see this in action, believing that it's going to feel that much different than it already does. Because already the way you conduct yourself during a date will have positive or negative influences on how a sim reacts to you. So unless traits for some reason you end up best friends and romantically involved, but they're not attracted to you. That's what I'm afraid is going to happen, by the way. I was doing that as kind of a sarcastic sort of setup, but no, that's what I'm afraid is going to happen. You're going to have a full romantic bar and a full friendship bar, and they don't like you. They don't like you. They don't like you. No matter how full those bars are. We'll see. We'll see how it works. So I think that's really what's being sold here is that. There's also a suggestion here that if the date's going poorly, you can get up and leave. Again, you can end a date early now. But I guess there's this idea that you can get up and leave. Now, the really good thing, the really cool thing would be if the date you've chosen, the person that's met your sim, do they get up and leave? Do they get up and leave and go someplace else because the date's going so badly? And the thing is, the trailer stops short of saying that. The trailer says you can leave the date, right? You can go. So I got to wonder, is it just going to be a player initiated thing, or will the other sim be able to do it? Because that'd be a lot more dramatic and provide a lot more surprise. I don't know. We're going to see on that one. Like I said, the trailer does not say either side could do it. The trailer says you can decide to do it. Now, does this lead to any sort of special new reaction? I really don't know. I mean, we have a whole range of moodlets already. My guess is someone gets up and leaves on you early. You have a sad, if that can even happen, you're going to have a sad moodlet, right? And That's it. Now, would that sad moodlet contribute to brokenheartedness? Because you can die of a broken heart. So would it contribute to that? Hopefully it will. Like if someone leaves in the middle of your date, or if you leave in the middle of the date, would it make you a little sad, make your heart a little bit broken? I mean, I don't know. That would be a big question, because leaving in the middle of the date could make you really happy and really like, thank God I thought of an excuse to get out of this, right? But there needs to be some reaction. I want some more reaction than just sad moodlet or energized moodlet or flirty moodlet, stuff like that. I want something that's going to be something that feels like something different, feels like something new. Because right now we're being shown an awful lot of stuff that feels like we've been here and done that, like it is just tweaking and rehashing and redoing stuff we already have in game. And speaking of tweaking and rehashing, trailer number 2 revisits trailer number 1. That's not a good sign when your second trailer basically just goes back to your first trailer, to the first people in their home, and just relives their romance, which we already saw in the first trailer. We get it. They're into each other. They love each other. We totally get that. How are we missing that? We're not missing that. Why are we spending any time on this? But that's what we're doing. We're spending time on it. We're going to go back and see trailer number 1 all over again, essentially. Okay, now as I said earlier, there was a spoiler. We have a rabbit hole career. We had rabbit holes, though, because we have another rabbit hole in this game, another thing that should have been a new major feature, and that is a hotel. And I can't even hardly talk about this one. Okay, let's stop for a second. We got a rabbit hole movie theater in San Sequoia, right? With Growing Together. How often have you been there? How often do you bother to go? I went once just to see what it was like, just to add it into, the sort of Let's Plays I was doing around Growing Together. I went one time. My toddler couldn't go, and his family left him out in the gutter in the street while they went in to see a movie. And that was it. I mean, they went in to see a movie. You're staring at a screen. You're staring at a building for X amount of time. And then, they come out and I don't even remember what the moodlet was. It was probably like excited or flirty because it was romance or something. Hell, I don't know. But, I did once. You know why? Do you know why? Do you want to know why I only did it once? Because it was boring. I don't want to get too harsh here. I really don't want to get too harsh here. But it was boring. Rabbit holes are kind of dull. It takes a lot to make that interesting at all. Well, no, I don't think they've ever even been that interesting. But it takes a lot to make me even want to do it for more than one time. So we've got this rabbit hole hotel. And we get there via the pancakes, because we swap from singles dating, 2 singles getting together to date, to, I guess these 2 singles, they've met, the pancakes, right? Bob and Eliza Pancakes, the Sims 4 power couple. And yeah, they shows them getting married and having a kid and then hating each other, right? Kind of like how life goes. And so they're going to rekindle their romance by going on what was it called? I don't even think I wrote it down. Anyway, it's like rekindling your romance. And I guess it's a way of allowing people who are in a relationship, Sims in the game that are in a relationship, to go on a date as well. So it's not just 2 single Sims going on a date, right? And I guess a married couple is the most obvious sort of thing to put into a trailer, I guess. That's the thing, though. Let me make that clear. We can see singles dating, and we can see a married couple going on a date. I haven't seen anything non-traditional so far about dating with this new pack. I don't see any way of searching for a couple if you're a single, or for a single if you're a couple. And I don't see so far, let's say Bob Pancakes doesn't want to go on a date with Eliza, but he wants to go on a date. I don't see any way so far that a married person can go on the app and look for somebody. And can somebody go onto the app and look for a married person? I'm guessing not. And would the app ever surprise you and you would meet a Sim and it turns out they are married, right? Instead of single? Basically, what I'm asking is, is this going to act like an app in real life? Or is it going to act like how we feel dating and dating apps should be presented to an 11-year-old? So far, it's all safe and standard singles looking for singles, and you're like a married couple looking to reignite the flame, relight their fire, right? With a night at the no-tell motel for, or maybe not a night, maybe just an hour, maybe only 15 minutes. Who knows how much old Bob can muster to get it on with Eliza there? But however much he can muster, that's what they're going to do there at the no-tell motel, the rabbit hole motel. They're going to I don't even know, why would you disappear into a hotel in the game to woohoo as opposed to any random bush, closet, shower, bed, coffin? I mean, why? Why are we going to go to that box? I have no idea, but that's where they went. That's where they went. And the only thing I really liked about it was he did use the quintessential 80s breath spray, right? If there's one thing I've ever seen from like 80s commercials and kind of an 80s gag in, I guess, like 80s movies and stuff, is like the guy using the breath spray, which actually isn't a bad idea. I work in the hair industry and I'm over people's faces all days long, at a shampoo bowl. And you guys bringing back breath spray is not the worst idea that society and humanity could ever have. So Bob's got it here. Bob's got it, and I love that. I do love that. And I think it's actually pretty cool. One of the coolest things so far in the trailer. As the trailer meanders along, we see a couple of Sims, kind of getting to know each other and then getting jealous about each other. Again, I don't know why this is even being presented as a feature. Sims already that are into each other and totally romantically and friendship involved can get jealous when their partner flirts or something with another Sim. So I don't get that. I really don't get why this is being presented like, oh, look, they're going to get jealous. They're going to get upset. Now, on top of that, they didn't do nothing. They just kind of seethed and watched them and had a kind of pissy look on their face. But, go over there, smack the shit out of him. Give me some Sims 3. Give me some Sims 2 drama. Go over there, smack, back and forth. Lay him out on the floor. I mean, just standing there looking like you're going to wet yourself because you saw your boyfriend flirting with the chick with the boob job. Well, guess what? That's really, that's not that interesting. And it's not new. We have it already in game. We have that already in game. We run through a few of the things we know we have, like the box of strawberries and the card game. Now, the one thing here with the card game, I will say this, and I do like this. They're playing it on the edge of the bed instead of at a table. So I do love that. And now, again, that's kind of a minor update, a minor tweaking, again, because we have games in game. We have card games in game, but it's kind of cool. They're going to play this sort of like sexy woohoo game, right? Sitting on the edge of the bed, dressed like a couple of characters from a Wild World of Wrestling. Is that what it's called? Wrestling. What's the WWE stand for? World Wrestling. I don't know. But one of those wrestling shows where people dress up in costumes like Nacho Libre and they, wrestle each other. Well, these two are dressed up in their wrestling costumes. They're going to wrestle too, I guess. I guess if one of the cards tells them to, right? Yeah, we're seeing a few more of those little role play costumes. Now, I've never seen this sort of role play costume before, but probably out there somewhere, there is someone getting on these wrestling clothes to get it on, in bed. So cheers to the Sims for thinking of the niche crowd. Yeah, think of the niche kink crowd. And then we see the woohoo blanket again, and I love that. Everyone knows from the first one. I do love that. I think that's very cool. Again, why do we need to go to a hotel? We just need to throw a blanket basically on any random sidewalk, and we're good to go. Probably on the floor at the store, department store, restaurant. Well, I'm going to try it in a restaurant. That's exactly what I want to do. Actually, now I think about that, I'm going to go to a restaurant in The Sims or a festival. I'm going to go to the festival in The Sims. I'm going to throw it there on the ground. I'm going to do it right there at the festival. And I better be able to do it, too. I better not get any sort of you can't do that because you're at a festival, or you can't do that because you're at a restaurant, or the restaurant management doesn't allow it. I know they don't allow it. That's the point. That's why I'm going to do it. Anyway, that's what I want to do now that I think about it. I better be able to, Maxis. Now, one of the last things here is a Sim throwing a coin into a fountain, like it's kind of a wishing well or a wishing fountain maybe, and then a Sim appears behind her. Now, those of us who have played The Sims 3, remember that there was a wishing well at one point. You could throw a coin in there and you could wish for another Sim, and the Sim would just appear, right? They just magically appear. to be like your mate for life, right? Right? Or whatever, until you got sick of them, right? Is that what's happening here? Because, or as is more likely, is this more marketing bullshit? Because it gives the impression that she tosses a coin into the wishing fountain and her wish comes true, right? Because here's this sim, walk up, give her a hug or whatever they do. And so it gives you that impression. But it stops very, very, very short of actually saying that's what's going to happen. So it's probably, the way I think, knowing marketing from the past, especially with the Sims, that's just more, this is the story you can tell. This is the story you can pretend. You can say, she threw a coin in the fountain and her wish came true. But more importantly, we have a wishing well in game. We have a wishing well in The Sims 4 already. And when you throw a coin into it, it looks suspiciously just like the way this person throws a coin into the fountain. So it feels like, once again, yet another retweak of something we already have. And that particular well, that wishing well, you can wish for romance. All it does is give you a flirty moodlet, because that sometimes feels like that's just a lot of what the game does. But you get a flirty moodlet, and I guess you're supposed to go out and find your own sim with it, right? That's what you're supposed to do. So we'll see if a sim just materializes out of thin air for you, or if this, fountain here gives you a flirty moodlet, so that when you turn around to find the most random stranger behind you, whoever happens to be there, right? They'll be receptive to your flirtiness. We finish up with some more same shots of the same places. And after 2.5 minutes, I was just left with a shrug. I really was left with a shrug. It's just kind of like, so that's it. That's $40 is what that is. That's it. And that's $40. There's a live stream coming next week on Thursday, the 18th. Will it make this look better? I don't know. I had hopes the second trailer would make it look better. Will the live stream make it look better? Maybe, because it'd be hard for it not to make it look better, right? Anything else will make it look better. Right now, I'm just real hard pressed to say, this is the really big thing you should buy this pack for. I do like the idea of the world, because it's supposed to have a city center with some penthouses. But so far, we're not seeing much of that. And one of the penthouse lots, there's only 2, and one of those is 20 by 15. So even at that, I'm not sure how much that makes up for it either. And we've got 2 major features, or they should be, a new career and a hotel. And they're both rabbit holes. And then a bunch of stuff that feels like minor retweaks of stuff we already have. Yeah. Minor tweaking of stuff we already have. Now, maybe it's harder than I think to do that tweaking. Maybe it is. Maybe it took a lot more effort and resources than I think it does. But when you're looking at it in this trailer, and both these trailers so far, when you're looking at what you get, when you're looking at what we're going to be able to do, it feels minor. It doesn't feel like there's a lot here. Okay, so we can go on a date, and we get to choose 3 to 5 things that we want to do on the date instead of it being like kind of preset. Does that seem like a huge change? Does that seem like something that is going to be really major? Do turn on and turn off seem that way? Does a box of strawberries or a card game or a new dance seem that way? And the dance, I'm not even sure it's going to be much of a dance. It just looks like a variation on the sort of dance we already got with Salvador Rada. Everything in here feels like a variation on something that we have, a tweaking. I'm going to say that again. I keep saying that. You know why? Because that's what I kept thinking as I watched the trailer. So, oh boy, it's $40. It's $40. Next week, we'll see a live stream, and maybe we'll see more then. Maybe there's going to be something. Maybe there's a big surprise, right? Maybe there's a big surprise next week. And until next week, please hit like, subscribe, and notify. We will look at whatever the live stream is going to be next week. We'll have another look at that, another review, another reaction to what exactly are we fully getting, because we ought to really know by the end of that live stream, right? There's no more surprises by that point. Everything is talked about during the live stream. It's done. It's over. What you're getting is there. we'll talk about that. So please hit like, subscribe, and notify. In the meantime, we'll also do some more building, some more gameplay ourselves in game. I am still building stuff for this pack. I have some stories I want to tell with it, although I mentioned this in the first trailer review. I don't think it's anything I couldn't tell without the pack. To be quite honest, I really don't. I mean, the pack did inspire me, and thinking about it and thinking about the world and thinking about, romance and love and stuff like that, it inspired me to do some storytelling, mapping some stuff out. But I've almost got everything built for it. I've got all the characters created. What more do I need? I really don't need anything else. I need for you to hit like, subscribe, and notify, and tune in.